Henry Clyde Williams Jr., 84 is my age.
And we are having you here today to talk about being involved in High Point Soapbox Derbies.
Right,
So, you grew up in High Point?
I did.
Where did you live in High Point?
On 614 Chandler Avenue. I was actually born in the front bedroom at home. I went to Elm Street School, which has been torn down several years now, for elementary, and then I went to the High Point junior high, and then in the 8th grade, they transferred me over to the senior high.
So, what years did you participate in the Derby?
First year was here. The company my dad worked for, they sponsored me. It was a hosiery company, and I got as far as third place in that one. But they had a lot of people that donated good prizes, for the Derby.
Well, you were talking about the wool book. So tell us how you constructed your car. What did you do to make it, to build your car?
Well, first off, you got to start with the floorboard. That's the main piece of the whole thing. It's a good thick floorboard, and most of the time they were about 2.5 inches thick, and they were all shaped kind of like a boat in the front, and kind of squared off a little bit at the back. And you had to make sure you had a center of the board for your steering up at the front. And it was always somebody that would try to get by brakes. It had brakes that you were supposed to put on it. And what it was a piece of a tire that still had some tread on it. And you take a 2x4 block and cut that piece of tire out and countersink the bolts into the tire so it wouldn't drag on the pavement and whatever. And you could just mash it down and it'd stand the car up if it was any good. Most of them, as soon as they put the pressure on it, the cable gave way somewhere in there where it was hooked up. And they had to redo everything. And the steering mechanism was, and the brake, the main two things they wanted you to really have. And there's a lot of companies that was in that first one that's no longer in existence. They went out of business. And so the next year, I had an uncle, and he was a captain on the High Point Fire Department. And he said, I'm going to get the fire department union to sponsor you. So that's how that came about. Down on Grimes Street used to be the repair area for all the city stuff. And the fire department had a double garage down there. And back then, they still had fire trucks that were powered by chains. I had it down there ready to be painted. They told me to bring it down there. And I must have sanded for 2 days on that thing to meet his approval. That was Mr. Honeycutt. And anyway, when it got done, where he approved of it, they took it out to Martin Sign Company off English Road. And he called them the next day. He says, I don't know if these letters are going to stick on this. This thing is so slick that the paint won't even stay on it. He said, I'm going to have to try roughing it up a little bit where the number goes. So that's what he had to do. That's how slick it was. So they said, well, at least it's going to break the wind good, But that's how that all got started from the fire department.
Yeah. And what were your race results? Because you did pretty well.
Yeah, for 3 years in a row, I won Best Constructed and Best Upholstered. And they finally came to me and said, do you mind going to the next man with that? I said, no, I've got the same thing already. And there was Dick Colors was down on Main Street then, and sporting goods store, and he furnished a McGregor ball glove. It was real nice, and I won that in the second place.
And you got the board of tools.
Yes,
Yeah, talk about that.
Well, it was a green board with a blonde trim around it, and it had them all mounted. It was like two planes, a big block plane and a smaller block plane.
You kept your car for all those years, and it's now donated to the museum.
Right.
Why was that car so special to you that you kept it for all those years? Because nobody else has theirs.
I know it. In fact, I had people trying to buy my car. Really. In fact, I sold it the first one I had. He said, "I'll give you $25 for it." Says, "I know it. You hadn't kept it for everybody to buy, but said, I need the wheels and axles." And that's about what they were valued at, the wheels and axles. I said, "Well," my mother and dad said, "You might as well sell it. We don't have where to put it, really."
And yet you still kept your car in her house.
Down under in the basement.
Down in the basement.
Blocks.
Till we went and got it. So it must have been a special car.
It was. It was.
Talk about what, besides the board and the tires and the axles, what all else it was made out of, and where did you get your materials?
Okay.
For it to be
Well,
made out of?
a lot of them, back then, the Hedgecock Lumber Company down on Ward Street was one of the big lumber yards here in town. And snow lumber. And that's where most of the wood came from. Well, like I say, all the wheels were almost all the way through Chevrolet dealerships. So that was all the same. They were about 12, I think they were about 12 inches diameter. And they were ball bearing. And you could spin one of them and it'd coast for 15, 20 minutes. You just keep on rolling.
And the top of yours is metal. So where did you get all that metal and have that done?
Okay, that was something you could have help on. And I got ready for the top. I talked to my dad, and he said, "Well, it's a Hazard and Sons out there on English Road. They want to put the gutter up to the house here, so let's see if he can help you out."
So tell me, because you won those prizes for the upholstery, tell me about the upholstery, how you did that and what it was made out of and where you got all those supplies.
Well, my mother, I asked her about it because she did a lot of sewing. And so she went to Alexander's, I believe was the name of the store downtown. And they had some plastic, which had black mingled in it, but it's more or less a pinkish red. It fit the car and the color of the car real good. And that's how I ended up with that color, and using plastic, which I knew would hold up better than regular upholstery.